Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Denise, and if you're not subscribed already, this channel is all about faith and wellness. So subscribe and turn on the bell notifications so you can be notified when I post my weekly video. In today's video, I'm sharing my go-to green juice recipe. I love this recipe, I make it all the time. So let's take the ingredients out of the refrigerator and then we'll get started. So I went ahead and prepared everything that we have to cut. It's always a good idea to use one whole cucumber because this adds a lot of the bulk of the juice. Another thing that adds a lot of liquid is celery, and I'm just using pretty much like 2 stalks. I love celery, so I add as much as I can to my juice. And then I sliced 1 green apple. You can use any fruit you want, although some fruits do generate more foam than others. And if you're going to use apples or like peaches or cherries, you want to make sure that you don't use the seeds because they are toxic. And I do love using this kind of kale, although I do like to mix it up as well, but this kale lasts for about 2 weeks in the fridge, which is great. And I'm adding a tiny bit of ginger. I haven't been able to find turmeric at the grocery store, but if I did have that, I would definitely add turmeric. And then I'm going to add a handful of spinach. But lastly, once everything is juiced, we're going to go ahead and squirt some lemon using this little citrus juicer thing. The juicer that I'm using is the NutriBullet, and I got this about 2 years ago. I got it before juicing was even cool. So, I mean, it does the job. It gets everything juiced. But I know that there are better juicers in the market now, and I've heard very good things about the cold press juicers. So once this one stops running, I may probably upgrade to one of those cold press juicers. But I do love this juicer because it comes with this little pitcher. I'm not sure if all juicers come with it, but it comes with this little lid, and when you juice the produce, it does generate foam. And more, as I mentioned earlier, some fruit generates more foam than others, but generally everything generates foam. And this lid, this little stopper right here, I don't know if you can see it, it pretty much stops the foam from pouring into your glass, which I really do like that. And I know that the newer juices do generate less foam, like the new juicers generate less foam, so I think that's why I may want to upgrade in the future. But for now, this one works great. What we're going to juice first is this cucumber, so I'm going to put it in there. I'm not going to turn it on yet because I do like to stack my produce. I think that stacking produce inside the little I don't know what this is called, but this little tube, it really helps me get the most juice out of my produce. So I put the cucumber, I'm putting about a handful of spinach, and you want to make sure you clump it up into a little ball. Otherwise, it may get stuck revolving. You'll see once I turn it on, but if you don't stack it, sometimes gentle or very fragile produce just doesn't get juiced. And honestly, it might just be this juicer. I'm not too sure. This is my first juicer. Yeah, I put this in there because definitely want the most I can get from that. And then I'll add some apples. And then once I turn it on, I am going to push all the contents down to the tube using this, but I'm going to go very gentle. I'm going to turn it on the highest power. I'm not done. I still have more stuff to juice, but I do like turning it off so I can continue to stack more of the produce. So definitely got to stack the kale leaves because they are very fragile. And then I could just use these. Okay, so now we're going to turn it back on. And this is about how much it generated. As you can see, there is foam at the top, so that's what I was talking about. It's quite a lot of foam, but some fruits like strawberries and pineapple, they do generate a lot more foam, so that's why I don't really like to use them. But as you notice, I didn't use that much fruit. I only used one green apple, and that's because, as I mentioned in previous videos, when we juice certain fruits, well, when we juice fruits in general, we are obviously removing all of the fiber. Like everything in this little compartment is fiber. So we removed all the fiber, and yes, we are getting a lot of nutrients. We're extracting all the nutrients from the apple, but we're also extracting the sugar. So we obviously want to limit the amount of fruit that we use in our juice. Alright, let's pour our juice. I'm using these little glass bottles. I love these because I hate using plastic, and if I want to go somewhere and drink my green juice, I can bring this. I just have to be careful because it is glass, obviously. But here it is. As you can see, it's mostly just juice. But if you keep pouring, you'll see that foam will start to be poured out. Yeah, and all that's left is the foam. Let's do a taste test. You know what I forgot? I forgot the juice. Forgot this. But yeah, you could just squirt this in there. Like this. Oh, I'm making a mess. Yeah, it should taste better. I love this. And I was reading studies on juice so I could share with you guys, and they did conduct a few studies. There aren't a lot of studies yet on juicing because it is relatively new, but I did find one study, and they concluded that the gut bacteria that help people lose weight were found in the participants after the study was over. And they also found that the participants had increased nitric oxide levels in their blood. So this is good because nitric oxide just keeps our blood vessels nice and strong and healthy. So I found that to be very, very interesting. And of course, they have to conduct way more research to find out if the gut bacteria that were found in the stool was really a result of the juice. So that's a start, but I thought it was a really interesting study, and I'll link it down at the bottom so you guys can go ahead and read it for yourself. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you go on and make your own juices. Don't forget that you can change up the ingredients. Like if you don't want to use an apple, you can use different types of fruit. If you don't want to use the kale I use, you can use different kale. You can also use collard greens, mustard greens, like whatever greens you want. And also, you want to make sure that you use the cucumber because it does add the bulk of the juice. But I love you guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. I love you so much. Bye.